I'm Justine Ocampo. So I'm a young author alumni, and I wrote this book-ish called The Willow Tree Whispers. It's a short story. And I'm currently a writer at a faith-based website called Thirst. I majored in English Lit when I was in university, and I continue to just, I guess, write throughout my career. But hopefully, I can get into like teaching as an English literature teacher also in the future. So I was 11 years old, right? And that, to be honest, is like 15 years ago. So you can guess my age. And honestly, I don't remember much apart from like what my room looked like and what my desk looked like. So back then, we had no like MacBooks, so we had no like laptops. I don't know if there's laptops or not, but my house only had like one desktop, and it was those like really bulky kinds. And I had to like take turns with my sister. So my sister was also in the program, and like we had to take turns writing our own stories. So we had to, like, I think I had like 1 hour to write mine, and I had to give it up for my sister. But something that I do remember, you think that if you had a limited time, right, then you would like be more disciplined to finish writing your story. But I was quite the opposite. I ended up procrastinating a lot, and I think one thing that I remember fondly is because the computer was in my parents' bedroom, so I remember I'll just lie down in bed a lot, and I'll just keep thinking, and then maybe like the last 10 minutes I'll just write something. So I would say I remember it wasn't a very productive process, but it somehow came out thankfully, and I hope it became a good work. Yeah. So currently, as I like introduce myself, I'm a writer for a faith-based website called Thirst. I won't say it's like a literature endeavor because it's faith-based articles. So they're nonfiction. They're more reporting style where they talk about other people's journeys with God and my personal journeys with God, and it's not necessarily like poetic either. But I guess it's still writing, and it's still something I'm interested to do. Um, Another, I guess, literary project that I'm interested in is writing children's books. So I've been kind of like thinking about writing a children's book. I have some like ideas, and I've written it down somewhere in some notebook, but I haven't like, yeah, as you can see, I'm quite a procrastinator. So I haven't really started doing it, but I am very, very interested in doing it. So I'll just say it now so you guys can like keep me accountable, and I guess you can look forward to it if I start doing it. I also did this project called Narnia Rations. It's a project with my friend where a bunch of us came together and we read aloud one chapter each of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. And we decided to just do this during the circuit breaker because we thought, this is such a brilliant book. And I think if people are very bored at home, then they can just tune in and listen. So it's an Instagram. So if you're interested and you like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, just search it out, Narnia Rations, and you can find me reading like one chapter. So during my writing process, in the past and even today, it's kind of similar where I lose steam very, very quickly. So I start very strong. I have a lot of ideas. I have a lot of, motivation, but it just dies down very, very fast. And I think it's really just that perseverance, and it's just that stamina to continue writing, because an idea can only get you so far. So how did I overcome it was I had to really learn how to be very self-disciplined. I still like writing, but as you continue looking at the same work over and over again, you just end up hating it. You just end up hating that piece of writing. You just end up hating, all the things you're thinking about. Like have a lot of like self-doubt while you're writing. So how I overcame it was I developed habits that made me break up my writing process into smaller bite-sized tasks, I guess you can say. So for example, today I'll just write one paragraph, or today I'll finish this outline, or today I'll finish conceptualizing, and I won't like get like in over my head, thinking about everything. So that's one. Another one is something that helps is someone I maybe get a close friend, or let's say at my workplace now, my boss. It will help if there's someone there who I can be accountable to. So accountability is the next thing that helps me kind of be motivated as well. Because if I'm not motivated for myself, someone out there will be motivated for me, and they will, check in on me like, Justine, have you finished this? Justine, how's this progress going? And I think another thing that helps is I take a lot of breaks. Hopefully not too much though. But I think it's good to take, some time to step back. And when you go back in and to relook at your work, you have a fresher perspective as well. So these are some of the things that I do take into account, even though I still struggle here and there while writing. But yes, hopefully these tips can also be something you can apply in your own writing processes. For young authors today, I think just have the courage to write. I think a lot of times we self-censor our own ideas very early on in the process, but my tip to you is to just write first. I really believe that inspiration and creativity is very life-giving, it's very life-breathing. So at the very beginning, just write whatever you have on your heart, whatever you have on your mind. Just note it down in a notebook. Notebooks these days are quite cheap, so just fill up the pages. Don't be scared of like saving, space or making it neat or making it pretty. Just write what's on your heart, what's on your mind. Okay, but then when you move on to the next process, that's when you need more grit and more perseverance and more uh, yes, more strength to kind of carry on, because you have all these beautiful ideas now. Then you just need to know what to do with it. And this is the cooking process. You have the raw ingredients and you have to go cooking now. And I think this is the process where it's a bit more tough, because it's really a refinement process where you have to face yourself, face your ideas. My lit teacher told me before, it's like killing off babies, because you feel like so close to your ideas and to your writing, so that if when you like think, okay, maybe this isn't good enough, you have to like kill a baby. It feels like that. So it's a painful process, and it is very, very exhausting. But if you really believe in your work and you really believe that this idea can come into a finished and refined product, um, be prepared. Go into it with an open heart, open mind, to refine yourself. And when you face yourself on the page, don't forget to take breaks also. I think that's really important, because if you continue to run on empty while you continue to pour your heart out on the page, but you're running on empty, then there's nothing much to pour. So I believe making sure to fill yourself before you pour yourself out onto paper or onto the computer, wherever you write. I think that's very important also. Whether you like watch a very inspiring Netflix documentary or whether you read another book, be sure to fill yourself up with inspiration. Yeah. So I hope that helps you as well, and all the best for your writing journey. Caitlin woke up. When she fell asleep, her head was rested on her notebook. She stood up, stretched, and got changed. She grabbed her coat and left for the library. Caitlin browsed through the shelves of books, looking for books on the town's history. At the very back of the library, where the lights were blinking and the walls were damaged, was an old shelf that contained one book about the history of Ganador. She flipped through the pages and saw pictures of War and the Old Willow. She remembered that in her dream, the curse that fell upon the land was because of the maiden who bore children but did not love her husband. The happy land turned gloomy because of her. Everyone in that land suffered. They did not love their children or husbands, and everyone died and killed each other. The maiden was spared and whispered her secret to the old willow. Then she gave birth and died on the very spot. She bore twins, a boy and a girl. Caitlin saw them grow up and then multiply to what became today. As they grew, the wall developed and the tree was caught in the middle. She shook her head and went back to reality. When she looked down, she saw that she had turned to the last page of the book. It was a limerick scratched in very curly handwriting. This tale to be told is for all to break. The curse in the land and her big mistake. A wall that separates all man and woman. Will you be able to befriend the others? Then the curse is forgiven.